Hello everyone. Today we'll learn about some basics and interface of Unreal Engine. Okay, the interface is here, and in the file section we can create new projects, open project, and we can create levels and the save our current level on as a save level. So here we will create a new level. We have four types of levels here: open world, empty open world, basic, and empty level. The difference is between these levels is open world. In open world we get lighting with some objects. In the open empty open world there's nothing, no lighting, no surface floor. On the basic we have only this floor like you are seeing here. तो हम क्या है यहाँ से बेसिक लेवल से स्टार्ट करेंगे, बेसिक लेवल को क्रिएट करते हैं। बेसिक लेवल में हमारे पास यहाँ पे एक फ्लोर आएगा, ये और यहाँ पे होता है हमारे पास आउटलाइनर। आउटलाइनर के अंदर हम जितने भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स यहाँ पे क्रिएट करेंगे या लाइटिंग क्रिएट करेंगे वो सारे ऑप्शंस हमारे पास यहाँ पे मिलेंगे। हमें उन जो भी क्रिएशन हमारी रहेंगी सबकी लिस्ट हमें आउटलाइनर के अंदर मिले, लाइक विन हैव माया। सो there is a lighting folder. In this lighting folder we will get the lights used in this basic level. So there is a directional light, and the directional light we have icon here, the directional light, or this is a skylight icon, and this is we have volumetric clouds, we are seeing here clouds, and this is we have sky atmosphere. This atmosphere we used in this basic level, and this is we have floor. So let's come to the directional light. We can move the any object like directional light pressing by W. Any axis, we have X, Y, and G axis. The red is for X axis, green for Y axis, and the blue for G axis. We can move in this X axis, and in the transform value here in detailing section we will get X value. While we are moving this object, we are seeing here we are getting changes in X axis. Similarly we have Y axis, while we use to move object in Y axis, here we get changes in Y axis. Similarly in Z axis. Okay, so see, this is our translate tool, or you can say the location tool or move tool. Next we have a rotation tool by pressing E. So similarly we have different axes here, X, Y, and G. While we rotate is Z, we will get changes in rotation of X axis. Like I'm rotating this, or let's rotate this floor. So when I'm rotating this floor, I'm getting changes in X axis. Let's zoom out it, or similarly I'm rotating is G axis, and we are getting where changes here in G axis. Similarly in Y axis, rotate in Y axis. We can go to default value by pressing 0 here, every value. This is our default state, get it in basic level. So next we have scaling tool by pressing R. So we have similar axes in X, Y, and G axis. X refers to the scaling in X axis, and the green refers to the scaling in Y axis, and the G axis for the scaling in G axis. By pressing and dragging mouse up and down or left to right, we can scale, zoom in, sorry, we can scale the object, and by pressing in the middle of the gizmo, we can scale up and scale down the entire object. Next, when we have to go in the normal selection tool, we will press Q. Okay, now we are not seeing the axis that we used to see translate, rotation, and scaling. So by pressing Q, we will go in the only selection mode. Okay, so these are the tools used to rotate, translate, and move the object. Next, we have to rotate the viewport like this. So we can press hold and left click or drag the mouse towards the left, up and down, left to right, like this. And for zooming, we can scroll middle mouse button like this. We can scroll it to zoom in, scroll up, and scroll down to zoom out. When we have to zoom in slowly, we can click hold and right click and dragging mouse, drag down, drag up. This is for zooming slowly, zoom in and zoom out. Now uh, we have uh, like we are going so far away from the object, so we can zoom on the object like pressing F. Like I have selected this floor and press F. By pressing F, we can focus on the object or zoom in on that object. Now let's jump to the scaling tool again. Why I'm scaling? I'm seeing here the fixed value of scaling is applied here like this, while only dragging just for one value. Like I'm scaling it a little bit, but I wanted only to scale it slowly, but it is scaling on a fixed value. So for that, I am going to the snapping tool here, the scaling options. Scaling option, it is set it to 0.25, so we can change it here for 0.125, 0.625, 0.03125. So I'm choosing the last one. So now scale it in the x-axis. So here we can see the object is scaling smoothly, or we can change it again, like I'm setting it to 10. Oh sorry, set it to firstly 1 to 1. I'm now scale it. So by scaling it is only scaling the one way. Okay, so similarly in the y-axis, it will scale on the fixed one value, and then points value, we go over the decimal values, it will scale smoothly. Okay, similarly in the rotation tool, while I'm rotating it rotating in the, I will see here the value 10. So it's rotating in the 10 degree. Okay, so I have to rotate in the smooth value. So here we come on the rotation tool. Okay, enable and disable snapping object to a grid rotation. Okay, it is set by 10. Here we can change to 2. Okay, I have set it to 2. Now rotate it, so you will slow zoom slowly. Now come to the translate tool. While I'm translating it left to right, okay, it's like translating smoothly. But if I zoom it more, so I just simple clicking it, so it's translating at the fixed value of 10. Here I can change it like 50. So I have this value. Okay, so it's fixing by from here to here, only a fixed value. So smoothly we can translate it by setting the value lower. Okay, now I can see I can move it smoothly up and down, left to right, and so on. Also, we have the tools here, the icons here. From these icon, we can select the object, rotation tool, translate tool, and scaling tool. Like this is our rotation tool, and the shortcut is E. This is our rotation tool, and this is our scaling tool, and this is our selection tool. Okay, so the properties we will get here about the object, then the detailing section. So here we have location or translating, rotation, scaling, and the metal and the other physics details over here. And here we have the camera speed. It is set by default 4. We can increase it to maximum 8. Now I will zoom in, zoom out by pressing on holding, hold and right click like this. So it is set by 8. So then the camera is moving faster. Now we can change it to the lower value. Now it's moving very slow. Okay, so now set it to 4. Now it's moving faster than the value 2, and at 8 it will set zoom very fast. Okay, now set it to 4 again. Now let's come to this portion. I have here the modes. Now we have in selection mode. We will click over here, and we have modes, select mode. Now what we have now, and that's after that we have a landscape mode and foliage, mesh paint, modeling, fracture, brush spreading, and animation. Let's come to the modeling mode and expand the window a little bit more to see all the options we have here. Okay, so we have here shape section, create, polymodel, dry model, deform, transform, and so on. Multiple options here. Come to the first option. Here we have a box tracker. Let's create a box here. So click on the box and drag mouse over here. Okay, so now we have box here. Again, I want to create the second box. We can click over here, and the third one, fourth one, and so on. If you have done with modeling, now you can click the complete create box complete. Okay, so we have done with our creation of 4 boxes. Similarly, we have, or we can delete objects by simply selecting and deleting, pressing delete button. Now we have spheres. Similarly to the box, click on the sphere and click over here, or we can increase the radius over here, like what radius we are required. Okay, I have to increase the radius and like place it over here. It will automatically snap over that floor or the object we have created. So it's snapping automatically here. So I have created a sphere either here and the second sphere, and I have done with modeling. So click OK, and pressing F we can focus on that object. Okay, let's create a box again. Also we have the dimensions in the box section over here. We have, let's create with width. We have a box here and come to the width here. Okay, we can see our width is increased by 1000 value, and the depth, and similarly height. Okay, we can also scale the objects from the scaling tool, pressing R. So see we have box, click here and complete. So we have done with our modeling here. Similarly we have more options, and again clicking on the box, we have either width subdivisions, depth subdivision, and height subdivision. We can increase subdivisions in the box. We are not seeing it here because we are in the lit mode. You can change modes here from here. Yeah, lit mode, and clicking on the wireframe mode, we have clicking a wireframe here. Now I can see the divisions in the boxes. Let's create here by 2 by 2 in every dimension. So I can see in the box I have 2 by 2 divisions. Okay, so we have another mode here, poly group mode by phase by quad. Let's click on the quad. So here are quad mode in the phase already we have, and the per shape mode, but we have per shape. Okay, now division, let's increase division by 5 by 5. So here I am seeing a 5 by 5 division boxes. Let's click here, and yeah, let's complete our modeling. Similar in the sphere, we have created with the radius. Now let's increase the subdivisions here. It's 16, or decreasing by 8. So now I have a division and spheres by 8. Here we have more divisions by multiplying it by 2, like 16. So we have double cases here, or subdivisions have completed. So we have double divisions here. So let's come to the again lit mode. Here wireframe to lit mode. We can understand here the lit mode and what we modes have here. We have uh, view mode here, multiple view layers. In the lit mode, we will see a lighting, shadow, and texturing. Everything we have. In unlit mode, there is no lighting, but we have in our viewport without light. No shadow here, or if we have textures, the texture will not visible accurate what we want. Okay, and the wireframe mode I have we already seen. This is our wireframe modes. What we'll see here is as is transparent object here now, and detail lightings. Detail by clicking on detail lighting, we will see a texture or the object detailings here. See here, we can see the object detailings here. Now again come to the creation mode. Here we have poly extrude and poly path. Like we have want to use the poly extrude mode, we have to select an object, select this box, and click on the poly extrude. And here we have poly. Poly means the divisions we have created in the creation mode. So we have poly this. So I clicked on this poly and extrude it to that. Like I have created shapes by the poly extrude mode. This will create the shapes like this and this. And we can make the shapes like we have want to make some footpath or the road shape. So we have to make a shape like this. Let's close this and close it. Now give height to this model, and I want height this one. So we have the now road here. We can escape, press escape to exit that mode. And I come to the wireframe mode. Here we have wireframe mode of that mode. Now we have the path extrude. Clicking on path extrude and create a path. Create a path, and this path will be extruded, or we can say this path have some depth or height. Okay, this we have path. We can create more path like this, and wanted to another shapes, like we want to make any handle, create it again. Shape, uh, like in the polygon shape we want to create it like this. So simply click and drag your mouse, shape, find the shape. Okay, now we have similar topics here, and the poly model, we have to select a poly like this one, poly extrude, and select any face and extrude it like what we height wanted to, but depth we wanted to, this length and width we can change in order. Okay, simply apply it and now accept it. Okay, similarly we have here deform mode. Like in deform mode we can modify by in lattice wrap. Let's come to the lattice. We have created a lattice and change the divisions in our lattice, x, y, and z axis. Come created 2 by 2. uh, Here we have 5, and in y axis I want some less divisions, and z axis may own also less divisions. Now select these points over here and move upward, so I can modify the object like this, like this. So these are the vertices or the points, we can call it here like this. So we have wanted to make the object more realistic or more modification in the object, we can create like this object. So this is our lattice, applied and accept it. Okay, so we can modify in the objects like this. Like we have to bend some product so we can create all like this. Oh, let's undo this by pressing Ctrl Z, and I can bend this object in the same deform mode. Let's come to the wrap. Okay, the wrap section, we have properties over here, bend degree, at what angle we want to bend it is now 90. Let's increase it, so I have bent the object in the more degree angle. Okay, and here we have the upper bound and the lower bound. Upper bound and lower bound, the way from where it started and ended bending. So let's lower the value of upper bound like this. So here we cannot see the bending in the object, and the similarly in the upper bound. Let's create a state, lower the value. So here we have the state model. Similarly, agar upper bound, we use the upper bound and lower bound like this, and we have gizmo here where we'll use the gizmo. From that position our object will start bending like this. Okay, now let's accept it. And similarly we have more options, like we have to change the pivot point of the any object. We are pressing W here, our pivot point is here. The object will now rotate from this point only, or I wanted to object make rotate object from here. So let's click on the pivot point and move the pivot point over here, rotate it a little bit, make it straight, and now rotate like this and move again here and move it down in that corner. Okay, now accept it. So our now pivot point is now here in this corner. Now we'll rotate the object. The object will rotate from here only, and also move will from here only. And also scaling will accept from here. Okay, so here we can add it the pivot point. Let's delete some objects here by keeping only the boxes. Okay, close the section modeling section and come to the again selection mode. And here we have multiple views. The by default we are in perspective mode. The shortcut is Alt G, and we have more options. Orthographic modes: top, bottom, left, right, front, and back. And the shortcuts are here. Alt J. We have top view, like pressing Alt J, it will come in the top, but is set by default in wireframe. Okay, by pressing right click, we can move screen over, or we can say we can pan the screen by clicking right click, and here we can change the wireframe to lit mode. Here we will see lit mode, and this is we have two boxes, and this is our floor plan. Okay, so we have a sky dome light, so we are seeing here the text is here, so that's why it will come in wireframe mode. Okay, so this is we have box, this is our top view, and we can go to the bottom view. Similarly, we see in the bottom view, and this is our front view. Okay, and this is our left view. We can see object from here and arrange the object like what, with no distance in between them, like this. And by pressing Alt and G, we will come in the perspective. Okay, now come to the lights over here as direction light, and they are we also have sky light and all direction light. Let's rotate this light and see what will happen here. We will study about lights detailing with about every light. When I'm rotating this light, you are seeing here the daylight is changing from up to down, or we can say towards the sunset or sunrise. Okay, here we have sun, we can see here we have clouds, so that's why I'm not unable to see here. Let's rotate this light over here, and we can see now the sun is here. Okay, so while we rotate the light upward and downward, our sun will move up and down like this. Okay, we can create a evening view or by rotating our direction to create scene like this. Similarly, we have rotate in upward direction in the another direction, in the opposite direction. You will see also see the same effect. That's here. Okay, or we will rotate in downwards, so we will not see no light, like, or we can say here will get night mode. Okay, so this is we have a direction line, and this is we have a volumetric clouds. We can turn it on and off over here. These are the moving clouds or realistic clouds. Are here we have the properties of clouds. Similarly, in the direction light, we have properties here. Okay, or by pressing hold and dragging it with any axis, we can create the duplicate copy of any object like this, and this object by pressing hold and dragging it towards any axis. This like upward, so we can create the copies, or we can adjust any object by creating copy and scaling them down, up, and like create a small scene by default objects. So now here we have the show mode, show section. In this we will see the lightings and other options. Create like grid. If you are not seeing grid, we can turn it on and off. And the fog, decals, collision objects. This is our collision object, because when we are creating these objects are automatically snapping on that surface. So this is our collision. So due to collision, these objects are snapping upwards only, or on the top surface of the floor on. Now, sorry. Again, go to the show mode and turn it off. And the grid section, we have grid over here. Let's select our boxes, press F, and delete objects. So in show mode, we have grid off and on. So our grid is so zoomed out. Let's see. Wait a second. Or we can see it from the top view, like yes. Zoom it out. These are the grid lines. Okay. We have a light over here and skylight. Press F. Come to again perspective view, and let's create a simple object again in the modeling section. Box and box create here. Complete it. Again to the selection mode. So here we can see the grid lines show, and we can hide the grid lines over here. So this is our show section. We can hide something, or we can make visibility over any object. Okay, so we have grid or on the there. Okay, and the pressing G, we can go on the game mode, or pressing G will show you the viewport which we'll see in the render. Here we'll see by pressing G the lighting icons, and the other icons we can see here will be go in hide mode by pressing G. Okay, so these are the some basics of Unreal Engine. And by pressing Control and space, here we can then the content mode. Here we have content mode. What will we import and export from another software? We will see here camera, shapes, and objects, assets. What will we import from another software or files? Yeah. So this is our content viewer. Or by pressing Control and space, we can hide and unhide it. In the setting section, we will go in the engine scalability setting. Here we can change the scalability, or I can say the resolution scaling here. If we slow it down, resolution scale will to go to the lower value. In the low, like low, medium, high, and epic and cinematic. While we are creating on the large scale environment, so we can use the low, medium uh, resolution in the scalability section over here, and the auto will mode will use automatically, but we are creating on depending on our mode environment. Okay, so these are the some basics. In the next video, we will learn about some advanced things about Unreal Engine. Thank you.